All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the crypto gaming markets and really a layer one that is having a ton of adoption in crypto gaming. And not only in crypto gaming, they're having similar business level adoption that projects like Polygon, who have accumulated so many mainstream brands building on Polygon. Well, we have now Avalanche, we'll just go ahead and say Avalanche coming in and really sweeping the space with three major partners this week that I think you really need to pay attention to, especially because we are in a downtrend. And I think whenever we do eventually see that next leg up, now, I'm not particularly bullish at this moment in time. I think we're going to see the market come down a little bit, but I'm going to talk about why I think on the other side of this that Avalanche is going to be a big winner. So go ahead and like the video if you enjoy the content here on In the Game and on Crypto Banter, as well as subscribe for content and shows here every single day on the channel. Shout out to our sponsors as well. Bybit, one of the leading exchanges in all of crypto, where you can do all of your trading for all of your trading needs. NordVPN, always trade securely and navigate the Web3 space with the utmost security. Use a VPN, NordVPN down below. And SIDUS HEROES, one of the leading AAA intergalactic experience. They also have their Zena mobile battle royale game live. Also, they have a browser experience. And, it doesn't look, the graphics aren't meant to be 3D. This is meant to be played on any single device that you could imagine. So this lowers the barrier of entry for people who don't have, RTX 3080 graphic card, latest gaming PC, right? Anyone can hop into this third-person shooter experience and actually be able to play. So not only are they building a AAA side of their game, they're also building a mass adoption side of the game. So I really love that from our sponsor, SIDUS, and you can get more on all of our sponsors down below in the description. Let's go ahead and dive into the topic, the center topic of today's show, and that is Avalanche. So Avalanche sitting at $20, and honestly, this is a pretty good value range, and I think it's going to go a little bit lower given the market circumstances, right? If Bitcoin continues to dip, I think alts in general are going to dip, as even with the news we're about to talk about, it's still down 5%. So these news catalysts didn't really affect the price to that level yet. Now, I think on the other side of this, we're going to see that explosion, just like we saw the Polygon explosion after all of their adoption and their projects, the businesses that came on board during the bear market. And then it absolutely catapulted Polygon whenever we did eventually have that run up from 15 to 24,000. I think Avalanche is priming themselves to be in that next position, as today, Tencent Global, the tech giant, chooses Avalanche, bringing Avalanche technology to the millions of developers on the Tencent cloud who now have access to the rapid node deployment and subnets. Now, the key thing to note here, every single partnership that they have been making, it's a lot to do with the subnets. The subnets are attracting these big businesses to be able to utilize layer one proven technology from Avalanche and then actually integrate their business there as well. So they have their own blockchain, right? The subnet technology is a crazy powerful technology. And then also just bringing Tencent in is going to make it much more powerful. You have the ecosystem used by the largest developers across all industries. And with Avalanche powering its blockchain tooling, Tencent aims to bring Web2 enterprises on chain. And I think the key indicator here for the industry and the niche that I cover in crypto gaming, we have Ed Chang, the head of gaming at Ava Labs, coming out and saying this is incredibly exciting for the future of games built on blockchain. Tencent's a global powerhouse in both gaming and infrastructure, and this collab opens the door for building truly incredible Web3 gaming experiences. So that is Ed Chang, once again, head of gaming at Ava Labs. And as you can see here, there's a full article exactly on what this is going to entail. But I think this is just one of the things that they have done this week, right, in gaming. So speaking on the gaming side, you have the largest esports platform in India, bringing 50 million users earlier this week with Legends by Loco. And it's kind of like a esports fantasy platform, fantasy sports platform. As you can see here, fantasy sports involve players collecting, trading, and building their teams. And it has a lot of different aspects that NFT gaming does, if you really think about it. NFTs and fantasy sports do go hand in hand. And it tackles a different fan base, the Indian esports gaming leagues. And this is 50 million users currently coming onto the blockchain. I believe they have a Twitter space tomorrow as well. And the topic of it is subnets, these big brands and businesses and this is in India. I mean, this is a whole nother market, and the gaming market that they're tapping into is a lot of the population that, is trying to be targeted. But a lot of the West really has a problem and a marketing issue getting over there and getting their games in those hands, right? So this is a huge partnership. And I think that Avalanche, once again, with another gaming catalyst under its belt. So you have Tencent, which is going to help them not only with their infrastructure, but their gaming, as 𝗏𝗏𝗁 said. You have Loco and Legends by Loco, an NFT marketplace for esports fans worldwide. Then you also have the 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 SDK platform, opinionated framework for building hyper-scalable blockchains on Avalanche. Once again, this has a lot to do with their infrastructure, a lot to do with building blockchains with the subnet technology. And then last, but certainly not least, was the partnership that kicked it all off during their big wave of business adoption, and that was Avalanche and AWS, as we see here, bringing scalable, now this one was interesting, scalable blockchain solutions to enterprises and governments. Now, that is going to be an exciting one to watch, because imagine if we've talked about it, NFTs, your license, your driver's license, your insurance, anything like that could be verified on the blockchain. You can't dispute it. If it expires, the blockchain's going to say it's expired. If you didn't pay it that month, it's going to say that you're late, and it's indisputable. You can't forge it. It's locked in your wallet, right? And I think that blockchain technology, guys, that's the level that we could potentially see this go. And it's true here. We can see it with Amazon and Ava Labs partnering up to power blockchain for enterprises and governments. And I think Avalanche, with the amount of games they're building, 47, not that they're building, that they're bringing to the platform, 47 games so far, including Shrapnel. As we know, Shrapnel looks like one of the best first-person shooters in the entire Web3 space. And some of these recent screenshots have me super stoked. And I know we talk about crypto gaming a lot, but once we get titles like this, I'll definitely be bringing more gameplay. We might have some live play sessions even of some of these top Web3 games once we get there, because currently we're not at that level where the games are top tier for us to have those really fun community games. But once a Shrapnel comes out like this, a first-person shooter, we can run some sort of banter fam tournaments. I can only imagine the fun that we're going to have whenever we have these experiences. This is going to be built on Avalanche. This is going to be built on its own subnet with Shrapnel. You have Ascenders, which is like an open world RPG, and the action sequences in this game, the combat challenge was really, really fun. I have to say that this experience was fantastic as well. The graphics look like Fortnite, but it's a completely different combat and movement style. I really enjoyed whenever I did the playtest on Ascenders. So those are just a couple of the games that are coming out of Avalanche's blockchain and utilizing subnets. And that's only 2 of the 47 gaming projects and counting. And I want to show you something here. Let's go over to the 1-year chart. Now, during this time period here is whenever Polygon really started announcing so many business partners. And I believe here was the Disney. I believe around this area was the Disney partnership. And that's what really catapulted their real rise as far as the price. And the market was starting to at least give them a little bit of ease. But they were the one altcoin during this time period that even had this type of a run and this type of a narrative. A lot of it was due to those big business partnerships. And what we're seeing right now with Avalanche today at only $20, what you're seeing on the daily, nothing but downtrends. And even though you have Tencent coming in, you have projects like Loco bringing 50 million users to the platform, you're not seeing the movement on it. That this catapults, that these big catalysts and these business adoption, this is huge for Avalanche. And I think that whenever the market does eventually come out on the other side, now I think we're going to see a little bit of a bearish trend I think we're going to see a healthy pullback here before we actually see where we're going. But I do expect a healthy pullback, and I think you're going to get some pretty good prices here. But over the last, month, around the 1st of February, before, it was about $22. You're looking at better prices today at $20. That's a 10% that's a 10% decrease in prices basically. And when you look at the all-time, obviously the all-time highs on Avalanche are about $134. So your risk reward here on Avalanche, given the business adoption, I do even think you could get a little south of $20. I think this could play out just like Polygon did. With Polygon over that 1-year chart coming out as a real winner, and that the business adoption at the end of the day was too much. And what business adoption are we talking about? Mercedes, Nike, Amazon, Adidas, Coca-Cola, Disney, Meta. Miles always keeps up with the information. And this is some of the stuff that is indisputable. It's going to be put in some of the biggest companies and the biggest brands inside of the entire world. The amount that Tencent is incubating and helping on the back end of different businesses, that's going to integrate into every technology that they help out with in their business. So that's going to be so widespread. Once again, indisputable. So I'm looking at Avalanche to come out as a big winner given their recent business catalyst. And I would honestly say to keep your eye out for more. They're clearly getting that adoption right now. I think that this is probably only the start of some big businesses and some big brands coming over to Avalanche. Let's talk the watch list just a little bit and some projects that I'm watching. And if they do dip low enough, I might be making some longer term DCA positions, because everything that we're looking at is here to stay, and everything is incubating tons of projects, tons of games on their platforms, all in different niches, all on different blockchains. I'm really looking at Magic, 𝗏𝗏. I made my first DCA at $1.50. If it gets back to $1.50, I'm absolutely loading up again. And I mean, if we see a $22,000 Bitcoin, then I think we absolutely could see those prices open up for 𝗏𝗏. And I think I'm going to have 𝗏𝗏 on the show very soon, and we'll talk more about the platform. That is going to be fun as well. We have Vulcan Forge at about 378. I think at 350, I'll realistically think about making another DCA, but I do think we could get even lower. Maybe even 325 would be that next price level that I would be looking on a DCA, because I was able to get in on a decent price on Vulcan Forge, but I'm always looking to add to my bags given everything that Jamie and Anthony Scaramucci are doing over at Vulcan Forge. If Gala goes below 4 cents, I'm going to make probably some sort of a longer term accumulation. I think High Street, that narrative with the metaverse, as mentioned, and this is getting a lot of Chinese attention. I think that High Street, if it goes below $3, is something that I'll be looking at for another catapult upwards. Wilder World in that same metaverse narrative, if this goes below 36 cents, I'll be watching very carefully. Veracity is something that's super explosive on the way up, but now it's down 22% on the way down, 10% over the last 24 hours. I'm not even going to give a prediction here, because I think it could go substantially lower given Bitcoin's volatility. And watching the S&P, I don't know. If you watch the traditional markets this week, it's not looking the best. I'm sitting on my hands as far as my DCAs for now, but I do have target levels. And then my target level would be back in that 14 cents range that we saw with Superverse a bit ago. I mean, if we can get to 14 cents again, I think Superverse is at a value level as well. So guys, I will be back tomorrow with another show to really dive into the markets a little broader and kind of give more of my opinion where I'm looking at the market to settle at for the time being, because I don't think we're going to see this quick rapid fall. I think this is going to be a slow bleed, or are we going to see a bounce? So we'll go over the factors, we'll go over the economic standpoints, and then we'll put our thesis on the table and go from there. And we'll take some questions in the chat tomorrow as well. Also, Twitter Spaces on Friday. The last 2 Twitter Spaces have been amazing. We had about, overall, even with the recordings included, we had about 5,000 plus come out to each of them. And we've talked marketing and Web3 gaming. We've talked product. We've talked with some of the biggest builders, some of the biggest investors, VCs in the space. This week, we're also going to be talking about some business stuff with the layoffs with Polygon Matic. We're going to talk about some big adoption coming into this space, as we've seen this week with Avalanche and more, Meta and changing their policies, Twitter potentially changing their policies, how this affects Web3 gaming in the metaverse moving forward. So in association with Crypto Banter, be at Friday's space, noon Eastern time, well after Rand's show. All the DJs, you can still catch Rand, you can catch me, and then you'll catch me on Friday as well. Like the video and subscribe for more every single day here on Crypto Banter. And I'll be back tomorrow. As always, play well, my friends.